Hi, Stephen Walker again, and the topic today is the definition of engaged employees. How do you tell if your employees are engaged? Do you do an employee engagement survey? Well, I'm trying not to laugh, but please don't do that. If you need to see if employees are engaged, then you really need to look at your performance. That's how you tell. What other indicator do you need? Does it matter if you've got something else that tells you employees are engaged, same performance is poor? Nonsense, isn't it? Okay, so let's forget that. So how do you tell? Well, this is what you look for. Well, I'm sorry, it does require using eyes, ears. I don't know how else to do it. Let me tell you a story. One Christmas, we had a job that needed to be done to go to the States. I was the operations guy responsible for getting this delivery done. And the idea was to get it taken to the airport to be flown over the Christmas period so it could be delivered in the States immediately after Christmas. We'd had one or two difficulties, one or two false starts with the project, and as a result we were running late. Now the team that were doing this, highly engaged people, were determined to meet this target. They didn't want to let me down, they didn't want to let the customer down. They said they could do it, and I'd pass that on to the States. Now in the UK it's traditional that we knock off work at midday, Christmas Eve, possibly have a cake and a cup of tea, just to wish everybody happy Christmas. But we didn't do that year. These people wouldn't stop. They kept going, pushing and pushing and pushing to get the work done in time for it to go to the States. It got to 2 p.m. Their families were phoning up saying, "When are you coming home?" I wanted to go home myself, but they wouldn't stop. I talked to other people in the organisation, and bearing in mind the flights detail and the holiday that was being taken in the States by the end customer, we worked out that if we did it immediately after Christmas, and we only had the 2 days off, then it would get to the States in the evening rather than the morning, and it would still be delivered to the end customer in the next morning, so they wouldn't notice any difference. So I had to go out to the team and say, it's okay, I've taken the flak from the distributor in the States, and it's okay, we can meet the requirement, so it's okay to go home. They still didn't want to go, they wouldn't stop. So I said, right, I'm going to switch the power off in 10 minutes. That was the only way I could get them to stop. That's the definition of an engaged employee, don't you think? When the work is more important to them than their own private life. And when you've managed to create that environment, it's really, really important that you don't abuse that ability that you now have to get your people to put the work in front of their domestic life. That's not nice. There are a huge amount of examples of engaged employees. You only have to open your eyes and look. It's happening all over the place. People are engaged in their work. The policemen that put their own lives at risk to save members of the public, that's because they're engaged in their work. People in a call centre who stay late to help that customer, they're engaged. This is Stephen Walker, Motivation Matters, creating environments where people give their best work.